All right, ladies, we are live. Hello, everyone out there. This is another episode of Lead Up for Women, and I'm super excited to have my co-host, Dr. Lori Monaco, the Badass Buddha, with us, and Dr. Erica Miller. Wow, she is so impressive. You guys are going to want to stay around for this today. Erica, just gloat, man, gloat. You're awesome, and they need to meet you. You've been through so much, and I'm super excited to have you on the show today. So, ladies, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and hit record and we're going to roll. Here we go. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. Wow, it has been an incredible week. We had our membership drive last week, so much fun. Women sharing about Lead Up for Women and bringing other women into the spotlight for them to expand their influence. What an honor it was to be able to welcome new women into our community, as well as I am on week 2 of my detox cleanse, which most of you, if you've heard me talk about it on Facebook or on any of my other channel outlets, it's been really brutal drinking these shakes 4 times a day and having this much food. It's not been fun, but in all my research, I'm looking to regenerate some new cells as I'm approaching 50. And so I'm excited for creating the health, right? We have to create what it is in our lives that we want and we desire. And no one's coming to give me permission to be healthy, to not be healthy, to make decisions. I have to make those decisions for myself. And so I'm excited to have our special co-host guest with us today because she is all about the health and all about the alignment in your body. So Dr. Lori Monaco, a VIP member of Lead Up for Women and huge contributor to Lead Up for Women. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. It's still morning there, right? Because it's not morning here. So yes. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I'm really
great
here because I cannot wait to hear Erica's story. Dr. Erica's story is going to be fabulous.
It's going to be amazing. So we're going to get to Dr. Erica Miller in just a minute, and she'll be taking up most of the time today. But Lori, you've been doing some pretty incredible things with women and men lately. I know you work with a lot of women, but you also attract a lot of men into your program. So talk to us about what your latest ventures are.
So my latest venture has to do with something that I came up with that's called Transformation University. And it's based on what I call the 7 core pillars of alignment. So that if each piece is in alignment, then your life will be, you'll feel fulfilled, you'll live a happy, joyful, abundant life. And each one represents, each piece. So people struggle with different pieces. Some people have certain pieces that are perfect and or what we call perfectly imperfect. And then they need work on other things. And some, like me, at some point a few years back, needed all of it, like a complete reboot. And so it focuses on things like emotional, mental, social, spiritual, physical, physiological, and financial. And one of the pieces that I'm specifically specializing in, that I'm promoting a lot over the last, couple of months, is the physiological piece, which is just gaining better health through a program that I offer in conjunction with that Transformation University, which is called the Fat Eviction Program, which helps you decrease your body fat levels, whether you have a little bit of body fat or a lot, because it is associated with so many health issues. And this particular program is an anti-inflammatory detox elimination type of program. So individuals who come on it feel better. They start to diminish their like weird symptoms or symptoms of current conditions that they already have, like diabetes and heart disease. But the side effect is that they lose weight. So if you're an individual who wants to lose weight, this is a great program for you. If you're an individual who just wants better health, but could stand maybe to lose a little something, this is a great program for you. And even if you don't want to lose something, it's still a great program because it'll allow your body to sort of even out and align itself.
You know what? I love this because what people don't know about you, Lori, is you were a chiropractor. That's how you were a doctor for 20 years, right? Or over 20 years.
And it'll be 23 years next month.
23 years.
So I was 10 when I graduated. I was only 10 years old when I graduated.
Right. Of course. You were accelerated. Of course you were. And what I love about that is we talk about alignment, right? And chiropractors know with the alignment of our bodies, if one piece of our alignment is out, it whacks the whole body out. And
Correct.
it's so interesting that you take that experience from being a chiropractor and now move that into alignment of all of the pieces of our lives. And we know if one of those pieces are out of whack or we're not happy with it, you could be as successful and be financially secure and have all of these other, maybe you're socially good, maybe there's some other pieces that are really good, but you're just tired all the time, or your health isn't good, or you're overweight. And I know, Lori, you've struggled with weight. It's really been something you've been trying to evict out of your life for your entire life, and you are literally the incredible shrinking woman right now,
Well,
because you're so small.
well, you're exaggerating. It's only because you see this part. This has always been small on me, but that's the reason I even put this together, was because it was my own life transformation. And see, as each piece started to align, then I would go on to the next piece. And sometimes I didn't even realize that piece was sort of out. I just wasn't paying attention to it. But then when I got the other pieces aligned, I was like, oh, okay, I need to work on my weight, even though my health was good, but for how long? And people, they're not so lucky. I mean, I'm 51, and there's people that are very unhealthy and they're 20 years younger than me. So it was just it was happening and I was living it. And so as each piece aligned, I felt better about myself. And having suffered depression since I was 15, and not after, by the time I was age 48, the depression was completely gone. And I have moments, but not like I used to. And I'm not on any medication. So that's it. So my life, as it's played out in the last 6 years, has really been what I created because of all my really bad choices in my life.
Sometimes that happens. The bad choices we make lead to who we are today, because it's how we decide to deal with some of those choices in the past and how we look at the future and our vision for what we are today. So, Lori, I know you have an offer for our audience today. So please tell them what that offer is and how they can reach you. And of course, for everyone listening right now or watching, I will put all of the contact information in the description. If you're on the podcast listening, you will have it at the tips of your finger. So you can just click on that. But please tell them your offer for today and how they can reach you.
Sure. So thank you, Colleen. So my offer for today is, first off, you can get a free 30-minute blast VIP coaching session. And we can go and evaluate you and see where you fall onto the 7 core pillars. And don't feel bad if you're a hot mess and you need all 7. I was right there with you, so you're good. And then the other thing is, if you're looking to get, your health better, to lose weight maybe, or just have better health, if you don't want to take the medications anymore, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then I have 2 sessions starting. They're 6-week block programs. One starts March 3rd, one starts March 6th. And very limited seating, but I'm going to give you $200 off the cost, which is huge.
Wow.
And you can do this by going on the information that's going to be set in place that Colleen's going to leave. But you could also check out the information and learn more about the program or all my programs at www.drlorimonaco.com, and then just click on the appropriate sections.
Awesome. Lori, thank you so much for being with us today. And what I love what Lori offers is it's step by step by step. So, it just takes time to get into alignment with everything in your life. And it's not a race, everyone. It's a journey, and we need to enjoy the journey. And this is how we do it. We just take one step at a time to create the reality that we desire. So, thank you, Lori, for being with us today, and hang out with us as a co-host. We would love to keep you here.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Erica Miller, I'm excited to have you here today, and I'm really honored. I want you to know how honored I am to have you here today, because, I look up to you. Women like me who are running women's organizations, who are supporting women, who are there to help women take bold actions. We look up to women like you, Erica, who have really pioneered the path for us in the way that you support women and how you inspire and motivate not just women but men, large crowds. I mean, you've been seen on ABC, NBC, CBS News, Fox. You just give uplifting presentations. And let's talk about, you're a doctor because you're a psychologist, right? For a lot of years. And so you've ran clinics for over 30 years. But let's go way back to where your journey started. I hear a lot of women talk about, well, I was abused when I was younger. I was born into a very poor family. I was in abusive relationships. By the way, I'm explaining my life right now. This is my life. And they stay victim to those. They don't think anything else is possible for them because that's what the hand they were dealt. And they're not looking to think that the future is bright for them, and that's where they need to remain. And I want to go back to when you were way back, and let's talk about your journey and how things started for you, Erica.
First, you have it, you have to flaunt it. I turned 87 years young. In 3 years, I'll be 90. Look at me. I'm not in La La Land. But again, I attract young people like you like crazy because again, don't tell me I cannot do it. I've heard all along that you cannot do this, that, whatever. So my point is, I'm just lucky to be alive, girls. I cannot believe my good fortune. All right. Hey, destiny had it. I had a normal in Austria-Romania, normal life, whatever it is, not really normal because a mother, father, my sister and me, she was pretty and dumb and I was smart and ugly. That is the word I got. So nobody will ever find me. Nobody ever go for me for my looks. It's my smarts. So my point being is, they 7 years old, Nazi, Romanian, whatever at that time, and we hid in the attic because German came to look to find Jews shooting and all that kind of thing. So I was a little kid, 7 years old. So my mother in the attic, she had her hand over my mouth all the time. I have flashbacks, so I don't give away where we are. So I did not have a voice. So finally, my father couldn't handle the mayhem. So we literally, a Romanian neighbor with a horse and buggy, they took us to the train station. And then started to be a mayhem of 4 years in a holding camp. Okay. Trauma happens. I don't remember a lot of things, but flashbacks, like being there and looking all those dead bodies, jumping over dead bodies. And I must tell you, girls, I want girls. I call you girls. You're 50, huh? Okay, and I'm going to be 90 in 3 years, huh? So yeah, and I'm all over the place. I'm lucky to be alive. And I know I do not inspire everybody, but I do inspire quite a few over the years because I have a voice. I uplift. I could not, after the war, we were a holding camp and the Russians liberated us. What do you do for 4 years? I never went to school. So when we came back, my first book From Trauma to Triumph, Dr. Erika Miller, Israeli Air Force. So my point being is I have an amazing life journey and the gift that keeps on giving. And the reason I'm still here, because I smile at people, I uplift, I touch, whatever. So it is a natural high that you get. And because traditions are very strong. So I've had a long life. So yeah, when I was married with 2 kids, I never had an opportunity to go to medical school because coming to Israel, the Air Force would have you, the only medical school was in Jerusalem. So again, there was no money, nothing. I just needed to heal that contorted face of this woman next to the 20 people because she got lost from everybody. I wanted to touch her, but my mother held me for dear life. So the time had to be right. I had a husband and 2 kids. When my son went to 1st grade, I announced, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go graduate. I'm going to become a healer. And Gerri, a Jewish boy from Independence, Missouri, he was a funny guy. He says, are you sure that you can do it? My accent, the different languages. He then said that he saw that he could more be a president of the United States than me getting graduated. And nobody wanted me to do that. Are you kidding me? So this whole big drama. And like I said, I'm a storyteller, and I'm so excited I have to share with you. There's a script. There's going to be a movie made out of my life. Okay.
What?
Kevin. Okay. Hi, Kevin. I hope I don't give you away. Kevin Bernhardt. He's also producer. He absolutely. So my point being is the title of the script is Beautiful Death, because again, I looked out the window every morning. They picked up those bodies, and I said, they're so ugly. I don't want to die ugly. Just before I die, I want to pose. Guess what? I'm still posing. So I was a bad girl. My mother was stoic. I never got affection from her or whatever. So I tried to get attention. So one morning, I laid next to, and that's in the script, I laid next to the dead people posing, and she saw that I died. So then I jumped up, and she then hit me and all that kind of thing. But my point is, I am fearless. Don't tell me I cannot do it. So that in Israel, being outside the box, and I can tell you girls, it's not an easy thing. Because if you are outside the box, in my generation, remember, all my peers, I never had any friends. I didn't have time or interest. All those women were an extension of their husbands, and they judged me like crazy. And once the kids were out of the house, I wish I could have done what you did. It was rough. 8 years nonstop. I got my PhD, and then my husband, he was a loose cannon. He was a teacher, but he was a businessman, whatever. So he went to unions, opened clinics, and I was in charge. And then he played Monopoly, as far as real estate, and I applauded him. So now we have in Austin, Texas, in about 11 buildings in 300 units. I run it. Okay, so I'm a businesswoman. I am whatever, and I don't brag. I just share. Isn't that what you want me to do? So if you don't stop me, I can go on forever. So it was tough, but you know what? I am who I am because of it. Don't tell me because I'm Jewish, I have to die. Don't tell me because I'm a girl, I cannot play with trees with the boys. Don't tell me I cannot be married with kids and have a profession. Don't tell me. You are what you think you are. And it's tough. I'm not in La La Land, but I'm an inspiration. I don't brag, here you go again. That all those youngins, my daughter, she turned 60 yesterday. Are you kidding me? I could date a 60-year-old guy. My son is 58.
I have to tell you, I hang out with my mother-in-law every Saturday all day. And the reason why I do that is because she's 88, turning 89 this year. And she is not as full of life as you are. And she has her health, and she can move quickly. She lives by herself still, but she's starting to lose her short-term memory. And therefore, she's losing a little bit of that spunk that I'm really emotionally touched by you today, because it shows me that if we don't stay in our minds and in the present, and we're not consistently working on our memories and working on experiences and working on journeys and working on and just being in the moment for all of the things that are there for us for the taking, and using our voices, there's going to become a time when those things are not available to you. And those things have become unavailable to my mother-in-law because it's slipping for her. And so I am honored to be in your presence today, because it's a reminder for me and everybody listening that these are gifts. It's a gift that you survived the Holocaust. It's a gift to all of us that we're breathing and living and wake up every day and our hearts are beating, and that we have a voice. And if you have a voice, it is your duty to use that voice, and to use that voice to inspire and motivate others for good.
Okay, it's not just surviving, it's thriving.
Thriving.
And again, we are speaking, but I'm a devil. And by the way, people look up at me, I'm barely 5 foot. I told Dr. Kovar when he checked me, I used to lie. I will never lie about my age, but I lied about my height. He says, well, you're a little bit less than 5 foot. I said, Dr. Kovar, I will not lie about my age, but please, I will never be less than 5 foot. Okay, how could you look up at somebody? But last year, I don't know if you saw it, whatever, uh, I went 2 years ago to Machu Picchu to Inca Trail, and last year I went with National Geographic. I went up to Mount Everest, 17,000 feet, and I jumped out from a plane with my granddaughter in Auckland, New Zealand, all the last few years. And as soon as the craziness is over, I will go. I'm in training all the time. I've never stopped to Kilimanjaro because it's lower than whatever, but I like the name Kilimanjaro. So we are speaking about life choices. We cannot control a truck that can hit you. Never mind the Holocaust, huh? But again, I've always, don't ask me where, only because you're ugly or this and that. Life choices without to know it's good for you. I am fit like a fiddle. I don't ever get a cold. My immune system, but I've been going to the gym, for 40 years. I am more fit than my daughter. Shh. I hope she doesn't see that. Poor baby.
I won't tell her, I promise.
But so my point being is life choices we make are really important. We are not our mothers, we are not our DNA, but we are just a little bit. But again, love myself. Maybe I hate myself, but I kind of think, don't tell me because I'm Jewish, I have to die. That is to me, that kind of mantra. So I take good care of myself. 2 hours now, I have a gym in my house, and I just whatever. So I want to live, and I'm going to listen to that, girls. 123. Look at me. Why 123? Because a woman in France, Beaumont, whatever, she lived till 122 in 65 days. If she lived till 122, I can be in the book of Guinness, whatever.
Yes.
And what? Tomorrow I could be a corpse. Nothing I can do about it. Meaning to life is death. Do you hear me? So to me, I have a legacy. I'm very weird, and I like it. I already have a custom-made, casket in my bedroom, on front of the bed. An artist painted me like an angel, and I will have a party. I want to be alive to hear what people, all those youngins say, because again, it's not if, it's when. Yeah. Be in the moment, be relevant. And the last book I wrote, that chronologically gives to all over the world, people that live long, they do what you do, but it's also, faith, if you have it, it's a wonderful thing. I struggle with God. I don't know nothing, but I'm not Einstein, but I know there's more than meets the eye. But again, wiggle and be engaged. Look at me. I am I'm hyper, I'm a little bit manic. On the other side of it, I'm vulnerable. I just, whatever. That's why my husband had to be tall to feel protected. So I don't have these little tiny kids like me, and all my kids are tall, right? I have 5 grandkids. Everybody doesn't get to have everything. And I don't know why me, it doesn't matter. I feel so lucky. And you hear about like you are part of the community. You have something and you're putting it out there, because fear, fight or flight, it's a normal thing, and people don't have visions. Before you can make something happen, you have to see, look at this, you're 51, you're a baby. No, you're not. You evolved. We are in the process of evolving forever. The same thing with you, and being relevant and having a voice. And we are going to reach some people. How lucky are we that we can? Because again, it could be very, very tough for so many people, especially women, because they want it both ways. And I'm telling you, sometimes I put my foot in the mouth, because sometimes women, they're smart, whatever, but they don't assert themselves. They there's no free lunch. If you do not contribute something to the household, you don't have to make the same, you could make more, but a partner, not a daddy, because there's no free lunch. Yes. So there are good examples. I don't know about your private lives, but you should have it all. And guess what? I will never not be open to have somebody in my life, a male. I miss male like crazy, but I am 87. So my point again, I don't care. It's about destiny. I'm open. No, I'm not going to go on the internet. Old people want young people want young people, whatever. But you never know about destiny. I'm so alive. And guess what? I still can do it. Absolutely. I've been taking Premarin all my life, and it's a good thing after so because we say, I'm not going to go in there. Okay. So, okay. Shut up.
No, Erica, no, I really don't want you to shut up. I have to tell you that what you stand for today is just bold steps, bold times in our lives that you're standing for everything. It's amazing how aligned we are with you, because you're standing for women to thrive in their lives, to use their voices to speak up for themselves, to give, I always talk about leading our lives with our own permission. No one's coming. We have to give ourselves the permission to step out that door and go work out. We have to give ourselves permission to stand in the spotlight and speak up about what we believe. And we have to give ourselves permission to work on our health. And you've spent so much time working on your experiences and your health and your adventures, because that's what lights you up. And so many people say, no way, I can't do that in my life, that's selfish. And I'm here to tell you, as women, that's not selfish, because we were given one life. And I do believe in God, Erica, and I believe that we've all signed a contract to be here, and that contract, when it's up, that's when it's time for us to leave. And that tells me, Erica, that you still have so much work to do here on earth, that God needs you to spread this word, because not everyone will hear it, just like you say, but the people that need to hear it, they will hear your voice.
Especially, I cannot get over how many educated young women in their 50s or 40s. My husband wanted me to be home with the kids, and then they get boring. And then the secretary is more interesting than the educated woman that talks about PTA all the time. So my point being is, I have, again, because of it, my mother, she used to say, be here. Some things I'm like her, devoted and very, all that kind of thing. But she used to say, and I hate to hear it, women are really smart, maybe smarter than men, but without a man, they're nothing. I proved to Mama that I can have it all. I'm a spitfire, and I love men. Are you kidding me? And my husband, he was a funny man. He could tolerate me. He was strong. They used to say, poor Gerri, here she goes out again to school at night, and she will run away with the crazy psychiatrist, whatever. But my point being is, it is like a lot examples like you girls are. There is a change is hard to come by slowly. So what? I mean, we are part of it, and it's very weird because I have a real relationship with death. Hey, it's not if when, therefore I don't worry about it. I just plug along. I do everything. I make good choices. I'm engaged in life. Look at me. I'm hyper all over the place. I have next week I have another podcast, and then I was in Canada. I was speaking Fearless Women. I was in Italy. It doesn't matter. It's like being engaged because I make a difference, and I'm not in La La Land, and I'm not bragging. I know it, and it's like, and I want to show that no, everybody doesn't lose it like your mother-in-law. Yeah, there are many. I'm telling you, girls, I can see me in 10 years. If I continue, I could have cancer already, not know it. I cannot be worried about it. I cannot be bothered with it. But I'm almost like a laboratory. What can I do? Because again, I hear you kind of evolve. We're in the process of evolving. I never needed any people. Now I live by myself. I love to live by myself. But again, I'm reaching out. Those youngies that call me Muse, Miller Muse. We meet once a month here, the girls from the neighborhood, Hidden Hills. And they just think I'm Catch Me Out. Of course I am. Because don't tell me you cannot do it. And I'm one of the girls. So when I speak about my sex life, or I dream about my sex life, they're laughing, ha, 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 ha. Put out, no, not put out, with your husband or you have a boyfriend. They need it all the time. They just need to be hugged. So don't be selfish. Don't just give it. You know what, that's part of the relationship. So okay, I hope you girls, because many girls that are strong like you, and I don't know you from diddly, you know more about me now, but I don't know nothing about you. I hope if you are open, you should have it all, because you could be into other girls. You don't need a guy. I'm into guys. Okay. But we should have that significant other that gives a hoot, that at the end of the day. So I lectured once in Austin, Texas. There was this big, about 400 people to get their points, psychologists, every 2 years you need to get whatever, and judges and all that. And I interact with the audience like I do with you. And I said, how many of you here have significant others? So when you come back home, there's somebody there to lean on. Not many hands, because they're used up. Caretakers, and selfish is good. Selfish, translated, take care of self before you take care of others. Isn't that what they tell you on the plane? Huh?
Yeah.
So, but there's a connotation that selfish is bad. It's a culture. but India has worse culture for women. So let's be grateful and let's make a difference, which we do.
We do. And thank you. Thank you, Dr. Erica. It has been such a pleasure to talk to you. I am lucky to have my husband I've been married to for 12 years. We have 7 kids. We have 11 grandkids. And my husband puts up with me for sure. He tells me all the time because I am a very strong woman and I have my thoughts and my feelings and my voice and I use them. And I will always continue to use them. And you've really sparked another fire in me today. And I know you've sparked a fire in Lori because, and all of our listeners, which is really about, we only have one life. So today is never going to be here again. It's going to turn into yesterday and tomorrow's not here yet. So why be anxious about what might happen tomorrow or what could happen next week? Why not live for today? What good can you do today with your life? How can you thrive today? How can you change the life of another person or inspire or motivate or educate them today? That's really all we have to focus on. And everyone is so worried about outside influxes and things that are going to happen. And you said you live in LA and you live in the Hidden Hills. So it's a very quiet community with some pretty big names living down the street from you, which I won't name unless you feel like you need to bring it up. But you said you live the first house inside the gated community because that's where you feel safe. And I love that you said that because we need to always feel safe. So we need to have our zone in where we feel safe. But when you feel safe, that's when you need to speak up and use your voice and motivate and educate other people, because as we support each other as women and we're there to not knock each other down or judge each other or say one is and one isn't, we are all sisters, we are all women, and we're here to support each other and help each other fuel their voices. That's why we're here.
And by the way, men are people too.
And yeah.
And no, I'm just funny. Ha ha ha. No, your husband.
I have a lot of sons, a lot of grandsons. I love my husband to death. I love men.
Guess what? He's very proud of you. And guess what? Stress shortens life. Life is so short to be. It's a friendly reminder because it's part of our DNA. When unknown, fight or flight. But when we freak of something, unless I'm dying, come to yourself, to your core. I mean, you will know more about it than me. I kind of live it. But my point is, it's like stress. We want to live till 123 or more, 124. And guess what? Somebody already is born, girls, that they can live till 150. Because genome splitting, all things what happened in the personal medicine, it's mind-boggling. I never want to die. And I just hate this thought that someday I'll be no more. So I am in the present. Can you tell?
Yes. Yes. And you are going to live to 123. I know it because you are so determined that that's what you want to do. And when one honestly believes mind over matter is stronger and that our mind is controlling everything in our bodies, it's the truth. You will live to that age, Erica. And
you are what you think you are. Maybe
yes.
100%. And have courage. Many mantras I have. Life takes guts, grit, and gusto. Don't forget the gusto. Guts mean courage. Grit means perseverance. Postpone gratification because education and business. But don't forget the gusto. Be grateful. Be in the moment because we don't know why we're here. Because you have a relationship with God. I don't know. I only know that Jesus was my cousin. I knew him before you knew him. So I'm safe now. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just, you did a book not too long ago, right? You published a book, Don't Tell Me I Can't Do It. Is that right?
That was a while back.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, the last one is chronologically gifted. I wanted to know how long do I have a chance to live? It's all about me. So I researched all over the world. And again, all the things that take, but in order for you to live long and well, and then there's the birth destiny. We don't know about that part. I cannot worry about it. So it was comforting for me to know that if I continue doing my thing, I inspire, I have a voice, and if, life is kind to me, I could reach the oldest person. Why not? And because my brain, I read about 10 magazines, discovering science and economics, whatever. I feed myself and I'm celebrating. My neurons are celebrating like crazy. I was a curious little kid. I got in trouble all the time. If you read my first book, From Triumph to, you will see I was a little devil. My daughter had one of her little girls just like me. And she's now learning. She's going to be USC. She's going to be a physical therapist. She's going to be a doctor too. But she's a little devil, just like me. But again, it's like what comes around goes around. But I'm just lucky to be alive and making a difference. And I'm not a saint. Neither are you.
Right.
But you have a purpose.
Right, absolutely. So you have 3 books. So you've got Chronologically Gifted, Aging with Gusto, Don't Tell Me I Can't Do It, and the other one is the Dr. Erica Miller Story, From Trauma to Triumph. Those are the 3 books you have, right?
Right. The latest one is Chronologically Gifted, Aging with Gusto. Don't Tell Me Can Do It. I mainly wrote it because I lecture universities like Austin, Texas and all that. And it was so sad. They used to line up, so stressed. My father wants me to be an engineer. I am a poet. I said, you know what? Your father, he had his life, but follow your heart.
Time for you
So
to follow your
Don't
dreams.
Tell Me I Cannot Do It. It's really tips mainly for those young people
Yeah.
that have all the things. I have 1 chapter left, maybe 33 more years. Those youngins have all those chapters and fear and this and this and that. And then the first one was my life story,
Yeah.
and it's about all kinds of things. So it's like not overcoming, not a victim. It's like courage and tough. It's not easy. So what?
Right.
It's a challenge.
And ladies, all of these books are available on Amazon, so you can go get those. I'm going to have links for all of you to be able to snag those books on Amazon. And then you have a gift that you want to give away today, too.
You know what?
Dr.
I would
Eric,
like
right?
the whole world to read me, not because of me. And you know what? I'm not humble, but I don't brag either. I'm not grandiose, but it's really helpful, especially at any age. Don't tell me I cannot do it, because we need hope. We need whatever. So I thought, so Cecile, the assistant to my publicist, how many books do you want to offer? I said, how about 10? So 10 books of this Don't Tell Me I Cannot Do It. If somebody, and you'll have to, my Cecile will talk to somebody, because again, the Facebook, they're going to, I guess.
I've got it. I've got the link. The link will be right here for everyone to click on the link. If you like her Facebook page, you're going to get the free book.
Guess what? And you could be lucky. And if not, buy it. It's only about $12. What's the matter with you? It could change your life. But 10 books, and we'll find. I said, how are they going? Because on Facebook, I don't put my address. How will you know those people that like me? They say, but then we can go, then we can messaging, and if they give us the thing. So I am generously, again, 10 books. At least 10 books, 10 people will read me.
That's great.
Not me.
I think everyone should go out there and buy your books anyway. I'm going to get one today. And I think it's great. Like Lori can share it with her daughters, that are growing up. I love the message by Don't Tell Me I Can't Do It. I've lived by that message my whole life. And when someone tells me I can't, I'm like, ooh, you just fueled an animal. Like this inferno is just going to bust out, because that even gives me more fuel to prove that I can. So women, the messages that you sent today, Dr. Erica, are just beautiful. Thank you. We're honored to have you on our radio waves, to have you on this podcast, for you to share this message and to reach more and more women and men, both, that listen to our podcast, that need this message from you today, to be fueled. And maybe they're having a down day or feeling bad about themselves, or something happened to them and they're struggling to see that life is happening for them. And I really believe that you shared that message today very strongly, Erica. So again, thank you for being with us. And I want to let all of you know that we are going to be having Rocky Lavlin on our next show, and he is all about profit first. I love profit first. I love about how you can have your business and take profit out before you pay everyone else. My husband does it in his business. I do it in my business. It flawlessly works. And he's going to come and share some of those secrets, hopefully have some book giveaways, and he's going to be talking all about that. So that's going to be on our next episode. And before we leave today, I don't even know how I can top what we talked about, but I just want to remind everybody listening, remember, you are the only you that has ever been, and you will be the only you that will ever be. So how you pioneer your future and how you decide to speak up and lead up in your life and give yourself permission, it's up to you. Be you and be strong. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and we'll see you next week on our episode. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody on Facebook.